Hello and welcome to my channel, The Day Tradestor. On my channel, I record all of the trades that I make every trading day, both on the sell side and the buy side. And I do that because I want to help people who are thinking about getting into the markets or who are new to the markets to avoid as many of the pitfalls that I can help them avoid that I encountered when I entered the markets. And since my videos are geared towards helping new people who are in the markets or even unprofitable people, maybe there's people that's watching my videos, you've been trying to trade for years, for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and you just haven't figured out how to become profitable. My videos are for you too. Now, I do provide information in my videos by way of what might be considered sell or buy signals on mostly large cap stocks. And those signals are created by a 10 and 20 day swing trading strategy that I use for my videos, specifically a 10 and 20 day moving average crossover. I look to sell when the fast moving average crosses below the slow moving average, and I look to buy when the fast moving average crosses back above the slow moving average. And my averages are based on the aggregation of the daily candle, the daily time frame. So right now we're on the SPX, which is indexed to the S&P 500. Let's zoom in, see how the today's performance is working out. We are currently lower than the open, and we are apparently in a downtrend. We are 6 days away from the high, and we are roughly $180 from our high right now. I do have a few zones that are identified, some possible areas of support. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag this a little all the way out to where we are for the day. I'm going to bring this other zone over as well. We'll extend this out. We'll keep that roughly up. Highlight this again. Bring this back over. And I've got those two zones identified of possible areas of support, and it looks like the bottom of this zone, and this is just a rough estimate that I created my zones here, but it did get price yesterday or today did get close down to the bottom of the support zone before it bounced back up. I'm gonna go ahead and expand this out. I believe it might be another zone if price does fall through this support zone that might have another area of support down here around the 6,691 down to 6,649. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another zone. So let's add a drawing. Again, I'm using a Thinkorswim platform. We want this box, and we're going to drag this out to today's date. And we're just going to move this down a bit, just so it doesn't overlap. So I'll click back in, and we're just going to bring it down just a hair, and we're going to just bring this one up just a hair. So we've got 3 clear areas of support if price were to move a little bit more rapidly, say tomorrow on into next week. As I said, it does look like that price did bounce off of the bottom of this zone. I do have quite a few stocks that we received possible sell alerts on this morning. The first one I'm going to take a look at is AMD. And taking a look at the recent price action, we had price fall 2 days ago below the fast moving average and close, so that was a triggering candle. Yesterday's candle was not a continuation candle, so we did not look to sell AMD, but we do have a clear candle today that is a continuation candle of this cross, and price is currently lower than the close of that candle, so I'm looking to hopefully sell one book for the crossing of price below the fast moving average. And I will not be able to do that, so I am going to be placing a sell order. If you're new to these videos, this is a Thinkorswim platform. So I'm looking to sell. This is a watch list. I'm looking to sell one order. And the way I calculate my sell order price for everything that I own whenever it's time to sell or at least put a sell order on is I look at the first digit, I see what place it is in, it's the hundreds, this is the 2, so 10% of 200 is 20, and I add 20 cents to my purchase price. And the least expensive purchase price is $259.53, so that becomes $259.73. So $259.73. Good to cancel extended hours, confirm and send, and there's the sell order for today for AMD. Next on the list is Amazon, AMZN. Now, Amazon, zoom in a little bit here. So what we're looking at, the reason we got a possible sell alert is we went to earnings, or Amazon went to earnings, had a nice rise. And I have alerts set, so when price falls down below the fast-moving average after an earnings release, a possible sell alert is sent. So we're going to take a look at that. And the reason is we want to protect the gains that we just received. So from the close on the day of October 30th, we went from 223 and we ended up opening at 250. So we just earned $27 for each share that we had. And that's what we want to protect. Fortunately, price is moving back up from its lowest point today. If the price was currently below the fast moving average, I would be selling one book just to protect those gains. But since it is not, moving on to the next one, which is CrowdStrike, CRWD. There actually is nothing to look at on CrowdStrike. We had price move down below the fast moving average and close, which is a triggering candle. We received the alert yesterday and we ended up selling one share yesterday because at the time it was a confirming candle and then price was lower than the close of yesterday's candle. So I did sell one. I don't know why. Maybe I just made a mistake and added it to my list today, but we do not have a sell alert for any crossing of the slow moving average or the fast moving average from yesterday. Next on the list is Cisco Systems, CSCO. And we'll zoom in here. I've got the same situation here. I just must have accidentally added it to my list, or I'm actually looking at the wrong list. I am actually looking at yesterday's list. So since that is a part of my strategy, I'll just finish looking at yesterday's list. We did receive some sell alerts this morning for some stocks. So I'll just finish going through yesterday's list since it's part of my process anyway. All right, I went through my list. There is nothing else on the list from yesterday's sell list that has moved over to today. So now I can start today's list. And the first stock I want to look at is the triple Qs, QQQ. Zoom in here. We see we got a nice big red candle. So 2 days ago, we had a cross of the fast moving average and a close. So that was a triggering candle. Yesterday's candle price action was not a continuation of this move, but we do have the continuation of move just like we had with AMD today. So I'm looking to sell one book because we had the price crossing the fast moving average. And I will be able to sell at a profit. So I'm looking to sell one share down here on the sell side of, try to catch it around here. So from 615, so for pricing, I just round everything down. From 615, the share I just sold, I bought at 580. So we're looking at $36 in realized gains on that sale. Next one we're going to take a look at is Shopify, SHOP. So Shopify, we can clearly see that we've got some price action here. I currently have 4 shares of Shopify, and when I max out, I have 8. So I have 2 shares for each of 2 books. We had price in one day moved and crossed both the fast moving average and the slow moving average and crossed below both. Yesterday, we did not have continuation of this move. We had a green candle coming up. So I did not take any actions on selling any books, but we clearly have a continuation move down. And because we have 2 days away from the candle, I'm looking to sell 2 books. Whenever price crosses below both averages on the same day, I will only sell one book if we have price continuation the next day. And then I will look to sell another book as long as we still have price continuation on the second day from the candle. Currently, I purchased my 2 shares at 161, and I purchased the other 2 around 122, so I will be able to sell at least one of the books for a profit. So we're looking to sell right now a book that I bought at 122. That didn't go there. Drop it down a little bit more. All right, we're just going to sell market. So from 157 to 122, that is $25 and realized gains for 2 shares, so $50. And the remaining book I am looking to place a sell order on, looking for Shopify. This is my watch list. And I'm looking to put a sell order on for 2 shares for Shopify, and I bought that at 161.35. So again, I look at the first place digit in the hundreds play, which is the hundreds, and it's a 1. So 10% of 100 is 10, and I add the 10 to 161.35, making it 161.45. 161.45. And the reason I set sell orders instead of selling anything at a loss is because I don't want to sell any of my stocks at a loss. My first action as a trader is as an investor. I knew when I started trading what my strategy, my basic strategy was going to be, and that was going to be as an investor. And the reason is because of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is said to be the best trader of all time, the best investor of all time. That would be a little bit more accurate than trader. And his base strategy was to hold stocks forever. That was what he would say. He said his favorite holding time is forever. So that's how I came to this. And that was my intention when I started 3 years ago. I did stumble shortly after I started. I got a little excited and wanted to make increased gains. I was doing pretty good as a day trader. And then I hit a rough patch. And when that rough patch, I said, what the heck am I doing? You knew what you wanted to do, so go ahead and start doing it. So now I've been doing that for, a little bit more than 2.5 years, doing this particular, the base of this strategy as an investor. And I've been profitable really ever since I focused and stayed true to my strategy. And if I could do it, you could do it. So that is why I set sell orders, and I do not sell at a loss. I just sold 2 of my shares. I just sold one of the books. So that money is back into my balance. So I can use that on other stocks if they are actually going up. Not many stocks that I have are going up today. And one of the main reasons I sell is because the stocks that I purchase within my investment portfolio are large cap stocks. So I'm pretty confident over time, whether it's days, weeks, months, or even a year or years, it's eventually going to come back up. So with that, I'm going to move on to my next one, which is an ETF for semiconductor stocks, is SMH. SMH, we have price move down and cross below the fast moving average. Same thing as Shopify. We did not have continuation, and we still don't have a true continuation. We've got a nice big long red candle wiping out most of yesterday's gains back up, but price is currently higher than the close of the crossing candle. And I do not sell unless I actually have a true confirmation of a downward trend. Another ETF is next on the list. And let's close these out so I can get to my chart field. And what did I say is another ETF is XTL. All right, we had price move down, the same thing as the previous other stocks that we sold. We had price in one day move down below the fast moving average and the slow moving average. Yesterday, we did not have continuation of the trend, but we do today. And price is currently lower than that candle. So I'm looking to sell 2 books. If I can sell 2 shares or 2 books of XTL at a profit, I will. And I cannot. I can sell 1 book at a profit. So we're going to look to sell 1 book. I currently have 8 shares. So I am maxed out with my shares. It's 2 shares per book. So I'm going to put 2 here. We already got that in our active trader. We'll drop this down to 147.35 and see if that goes. We're just going to hit sell market. Sell market is a little bit faster. Then me trying to chase the price down, ended up selling for 147.20 something that I saw. Actually, it was 147.24. So I would have just gone down a few cents at a time trying to chase this down, and it just uses too much time. The book I just sold, I bought at $112. So that is roughly $35 a share for 2 shares. So that's $70 in realized gains. For those of you who were able to purchase some XTL and join me in this trade, you should have had some gains as well. Hopefully you didn't sell out too early. If you did, let us know what your profits were then when you sold, because you probably would have sold at a higher price. All right, now I have to put on a sell order for XTL for one of the books. Come in here, hit the sell. Now it's going to be for, again, it's for 2 shares, and I bought the least expensive, or the least expensive is 153.39. So I come to the first digit is in the hundreds place. It's a 1, so 10% of 100 is 10, and I add 10 to 153.39, making it 153.49. 153.49, and this is how I determine my sell order price for every single stock that I'm placing a sell order on. Doesn't matter the value of the stock, doesn't matter which stock it is. It's always the same. I'm just placing a sell order that if price spikes up one afternoon, one day, or one morning, before it turns back around, it sells. I'm interested in recapturing that money, even if it's only a 10-cent profit, just to add it back to my bank. Next stock on the list, got to take a look at, is General Electric. That's GE. So GE, we received an alert because price crossed down below the slow moving average, except it moved back up. So there's no continuing candle because we do not have a closed candle crossing below the slow moving average. So we're going to move on to our next stock, which is Dell, D-E-L-L. All right, I currently have 4 shares, and that is 2 shares for each book. So I currently have 2 books for Dell. 2 days ago, actually 3 days ago, we had price move down and close below the fast moving average. We had a continuation of that move, but for whatever reason, I did not make a trade on this particular day. This was Tuesday. I missed a lot of trades because I was setting up and trying to dial in my OBSBot camera so I can stream, and cleaning up the office. So that's why I missed this day, but we did have continuation of this crossing candle. So we sold 2 shares, or 2 books, because we also had the previous day price closed down below the slow moving average. So we had 1 book here for this cross and continuation candle, and then we had 1 book for this cross with a continuation candle. I do not continue to sell as we get continuation candles. The next opportunity that I would have to sell in any situation would be when the fast moving average crosses below the slow moving average. Until then, I just hold. So we're not doing anything with Dell, and I'm going to move on to Zscaler. Zscaler is ZS. And all right, this is nice and clear. We had price yesterday move down and close below the fast moving average. That's our triggering candle. We do have a continuation of that move today. This is our continuation candle. So I'm looking to sell hopefully 1 book with Zscaler. I currently have 2 shares, and that is 1 share for each book. When I'm maxed out, I have 4. I have 2 shares. Already have 1 share sitting in a sell order. With Zscaler, we have price move down below the fast moving average and close. We do have a continuation candle, so I'm looking to sell. And if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I just spent a few minutes working on some day trades. It takes me about 3 hours to make one of these videos, even though it's not a great deal of actually action occurring in the video. I just have to take lots and lots of breaks so I can keep up with my day trading. So hopefully I didn't repeat myself, but if I did, that is why, and I apologize. So I've got 2 shares. I'm looking to see if I can sell 1 share at a profit, because 1 is already sitting here. And for Zscaler, I can sell at a profit. So I'm looking for Zscaler over here. I'm in the wrong list. I want to be in all account positions. So I'm looking for Zscaler. That's down here at the bottom. Right click, We're looking to sell one. Actually, before I do that, I have been thinking about changing my strategies, and I might as well just put that on the video, and we'll take a close look. I might implement it right now. So I'm looking at 1 year, 1 day, actually 3 years in a week, and turn this into 2 weeks. Time frame, we'll leave it at a week. So right now, what I'm looking at a chart where the aggregation is, instead of a day, it's actually on a weekly basis. So so far, this is the current week that we're in of price action. And what I'm thinking about implementing is when I have a stock and I buy in back here somewhere and we hit a nice little run, that I may not want to sell out too early. All right, we're going to 605 to restart this. So what I'm thinking about doing is changing my strategy up a little bit, because sometimes when I sell, I might be selling way too early. And the situation that I found myself in is when I sell out of some shares now, like right now, I would be selling a book that I bought at $319, and I actually purchased it at $281. And then the very next day or a couple of days later, price may not continue to fall very far, and then it turns right around and goes back up, and then it starts to hit a long run. So what happens is when price crosses back above the fast moving average, that's when I buy back in. And then price may not go much higher after that before it takes a fast turn down. And now I'm stuck with shares that I bought at a much higher price. And since I have a policy of not selling and selling at a loss, that is, I end up with more bags that I'm holding than I would have if I just waited to see if this truly is a downturn that's going to last for days or weeks. Like right here, you can see where I sold out. I sold out here, and then I sold out again. But then I waited until price came back up. We had price move above the fast moving average, but I didn't have a continuation candle the very next day. I had it on this day, but apparently I didn't have enough money to buy on this, so I didn't get it until this following day. So sometimes I'm selling prematurely. Now, if we take a look at this chart, we can see I've got 2 candles right now that are lower than the fast moving average, and the fast moving average is roughly $10 higher than the slow moving average. But if I change my candle to the weekly time frame, so right now these candles aggregate every day. I'm going to go to the weekly, and each candle now is a week's worth of price action. And you can see that we are quite a ways away from the fast moving average. You can actually see where price dipped down a little bit past fast moving average and then bounce right back up. Again, this is not today's price action. This is so far what's happened this week. So since I was just thinking about selling a book that I bought for $281, if I wait until price crosses below this fast moving average, that actually might be better, because I would be selling right around, possibly around the $300, $305 range. But if I zoom out, if I expand this, you can see that when we do have the candles crossing below the fast moving average, it looks like didn't happen here, but we didn't have a continuation candle. It happened here. We had a continuation candle. It looks like we might have a consistently longer period of time after we get a continuing candle that price actually does move down. At any rate, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I might do that starting right now for Zscaler, because I really hate if I sell now and then tomorrow it turns into a green candle and it wants to keep its run for a couple days, and then price turns down on me, and then I end up with 2 books sitting up here that I'm holding instead of possibly only having 1 book. And I recently just started thinking about this strategy either late yesterday afternoon or this morning, because I have found that situation is occurring a little bit too frequently. I don't want to be a long-term bag holder, but I also don't want to sell at a loss. And the purpose of this video is to show Again, new investors and new people in the markets, a quote unquote somewhat safe way to invest and a safe way to trade. And anything that reduces the amount of stocks that we would actually be holding when that particular stock turns around, that benefits all of us. So I'm going to start with, this is going to be the first one that I try this with. So Zscaler, I am not selling. I'm going to make a note that for Zscaler and probably every stock from here on out, I'm going to take a look at the weekly time frame to see how that is moving. So I just don't want to go on price action on the daily anymore. So you just experienced, if you're watching this video, you just experienced actually in recorded live time my thought process on changing my strategy. It's not going to make the strategy any more difficult because it's still price on a 10 and 20. This is a 10 and 20. Nothing happened with the moving averages. They're still 10 and 20. Fast average, slow average. It's just on a weekly time frame instead of a daily time frame. So I'm going to go back to my daily. And to confirm my suspicion on that, you can see, so this is a doji candle. Excuse me, this is a hammer candle. It's just got a small head of the hammer, but this is usually a bullish signal. So if we come in tomorrow and we actually have a green candle and price is moving up, I wouldn't be surprised. For example, if we look at this hammer, it's a down hammer and we move down. It did not occur on this one. This is a down hammer, but we went up. This is a hammer, even though it's a red candle, it's still a hammer in the upward position. So, and we did end up going up the following day. Same is true here. Not true here on the downside. It is same as true here. I don't necessarily believe in all of the price action of the candles. I certainly don't know all of the candles. There's dozens, if not hundreds of them. I don't buy and sell on candle action. I buy and sell on price action of the moving averages. So our next stock that I want to take a look at is that's actually the last stock that was on the list as an actual possible sell. I do have some stocks that we're definitely going to be placing some sell orders on, so I'll take a look at those now. And the first stock we're going to take a look at for the sell order is Palantir. We definitely have a move headed down. I have 24 shares in Palantir, so that is 8 shares for each of 3 books. And we have it. The cross is actually occurring today. I do not have a continuation candle down. We did have a continuation here. Let me zoom in. Did have a continuation 2 days ago. And we did have a crossing candle of the fast average 2 days ago. And we had a continuation candle yesterday. And I was able to sell 1 book at a profit. So I'll wait until tomorrow for Palantir to see if we have a continuing candle. Next one is going to be Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM. Okay, zoom in on this. So 2 days ago, we had price cross down below the fast moving average and the slow moving average on the same day. We had a continuation, but I must have missed this. Or yesterday when I was making the video, price was actually higher. So that's probably the likely scenario. So I did not sell, but it ended up being a continuation candle by the end of the day. But we clearly have a continuation of the move. So I have 1 book to possibly sell for the cross, for this cross. And then today I have 1 book to sell because we have a confirmation of this cross and close below the slow moving average. And unlike Zscaler, right now the price is lower than all of the shares that I've purchased for Taiwan Semiconductor. So I'm going to place sell orders for 1 book. And that is for 8 shares. And the book that I am placing a sell order on, I bought at $189.90. So I go to where, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong stock. I want Taiwan. Okay, found it for Taiwan Semiconductor. I bought at $298.33. So first digit is a 2 in the hundreds place. 10% of 200 is 20. So I'm adding 20 cents to 298.33, making it 298.53. So $298.53. That is the sell order for the first book. Okay, what's going on here? What did I do? Wow, I had the numbers for the wrong stock I was looking at. It's not 8. Taiwan Semiconductor, I'm only selling 2 shares, not 8 shares. And back to 10% of 200 is 20, and I'm adding 20 to 298.33, making it 53. $298.53. That should actually work. So that is for the continuation of this cross past the fast-moving average. And now that's the continuation of the cross and close below the slow-moving average. Same thing, sell order, looking to sell 2 shares of Taiwan Semiconductor. And this book I bought at the same price, $298.53. I should have just made that for 4. $298.53. Good till cancel, extended hours. Okay, I'm going to do one more sell order, and that's for Sherwin-Williams, SHW, or possibly do a sell order. Let's see. Zoom into Sherwin-Williams. They've been on a long... So most of the stocks that you've seen, they have been on an uptrend. Sherwin-Williams has been on a downtrend since September 9th. So at some point they'll turn around. It looked like we got a little bit of life when we had the an earnings report back here shortly after Jerome Powell had the interest rate tax cut. So we did have a little bit of life, but we're back to moving down. So not only do we have the price crossing down and closing below the fast-moving average with a continuation candle. The continuing candle crossed and closed down below the slow-moving average. In turn, we have another continuing candle. So we've got 2 continuing candles and we got 2 separate crosses, which I'm looking to place 2 sell orders. Right now, I'm maxed out with 4. That'd be 1 sell order for each book. So I'm looking at Sherwin-Williams, and all of my stocks I purchased at separate prices, and all of them are higher than the current price. So I'm going to place 1 sell order on Sherwin-Williams that I bought at $366.18. The first place digit is a 3 in the hundreds place, so 10% of 300 is 30. I add 30 cents to the 366.18, making it $366.48. So $366.48. Again, this is how I determine my sell order price for every single book that I place on a sell order, no matter what company it is and no matter what the price is. It's just 10% higher. So the next stock, or the next share of Sherwin-Williams, I bought at $375.49. First digit is in the 300s place. It's a 3. 10% of 300 is 30. I'm adding 30 to 49, making it $375.79. So $375.79. And there's the second sell order. All right, so I'm finished with my sell orders from stocks that needed that. Sorry about that. I'm finished with my sell side sells and sell orders for the stocks that we had alerts for and the past several days that we were unable to do anything with because price did not dictate. I do have some stocks going to earnings this afternoon. I want to take a look at those. I want to try to de-risk and sell half of the shares or up to half of the books that I actually own in those companies. The first one, I know some of these I'm not going to be selling. I'm just going to be removing sell orders. Like the first one I have to take a look at is Archer, ACHR. It's an eVTOL company. So right now, everything is already sitting in sell orders. So I'm going to remove. So I max out at 60. Actually, I'm incorrect. I max out at 72, where each book would have 18 shares. However, if you notice, not each book has 18 shares because it was during this price increase where price was moving pretty quickly. I decided to add to my position, and I went from 12 shares per book to 18 shares per book. So the numbers are a little off here. But at any rate, during earnings, I would like to either have half of the stocks that I own sitting in sell orders just in case price spikes up before it turns back down. So I'm just going to cancel these 2 sell orders that I have right now for Archer, and I'm going to leave the least expensive. And if price does move in our direction and continues up higher, then I've got 2 books sitting here just collecting the gains. We'll be selling these at small profits. Next stop is ACAM, AKAM, as Akami Technologies. Same thing, just going to cancel this. I only have one, so I'm just canceling this sell order, and that's it. Next on the list is DraftKings, DKNG. I max out at 16 shares. So right now I have 2 books, each book containing 4 shares. So all I'm going to do is cancel one of the books, and it's going to be the more expensive of the 2. It's very, 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 very unlikely that price is going to spike all the way up to this point in one day for DraftKings. That'd be a heck of a move. Although there has absolutely been a whole lot of gambling this last quarter. Next on the stock is GCT, which is GigaCloud. GigaCloud, GCT, I own 4 shares, and with that, I would max out at 16, having 4 shares per book. So all I'm going to do is just cancel this book and move on to the next stock. And the next one is Huntsman, which is HUN. Oh, I don't own any shares of Huntsman. So we'll move on to Monster Energy Drink, MNST. For Monster Energy Drink, I currently max out at 12. I currently only have 1 book. Each book would have 3 shares, so I'm just going to cancel that book. Again, if this were to go my direction, since I'm a longs holder investor, if this were to go my direction, I would hate for it to sell out, and then I'd have to buy right back in, and I might not have the opportunity to be here when it sells. Next on the list is Natera, NTRA. I currently have 8 shares of Natera, and for Natera, that is my max. That's 2 shares for each book. I currently have 1 sell order sitting in here with 2 for 1 book, 2 shares. Price is currently at $198.89. So I'm going to sell 4 shares, 3, bump that up to 1, because I'm going to be selling them at a profit. So come in here to, whoop, that went down. We'll just hit sell market. So 198.81, that's a little bit higher. It was down here just a few seconds earlier. And I'm also going to cancel this sell order because I would really hate to sell half of the shares that I own and accidentally leave 1 book sitting here, and then price goes our direction, and then I sell out way too early. So what I'm doing, I'm de-risking. I would rather make a little bit money on the upside than lose all the shares that I would own on the downside. So I'm de-risking. And this is what I do for every stock that comes up for earnings. And earnings happens 4 times a year. It's quarterly earnings. So for SoundHound, I own 42 shares and I max out at 84. So right now I only have 2 books. So I'm going to cancel the highest book in case SoundHound has an awesome and amazing earnings. Then I'm only going to sell 1 and I'll have another book sitting here. Or, which is what happens sometimes, price spikes and then turns down. Then I'll be out. All right, Take 2 Interactive, TTWO. I know I only have 1 book here. Oops, zoom back in. And so I'm just gonna cancel that sell order. And the next one is XYZ. Come on, close out. Next one is XYZ, which is block, which used to be square. All right, for XYZ, I currently have 8 shares. I max out at 8 shares. 4 of them are already sitting here. This is 2 books are already sitting in sell orders. The XYZ, I bought 6 shares at 81.65. So let's see what these are sitting at. 81.73 and 81.73. So what I need to do is just cancel these two orders, come into XYZ. I'm looking to sell 4 shares, which is 2 books. 2, 3, 4. And I bought these shares. I'm looking to sell at $81.65. So first place digit is an 8. It's in the tens place. So 10% of 80 is 8. So I'm adding 8 cents to 81.65. So 81, that becomes 81.73, 81.73. And there's the half of my shares and half of my books sitting in sell orders for XYZ. And the last one is Silver Mining Core, SVM. This is for silver metals. It's an ETF, or might not, Silver Core Metals. It's a mining company, not an ETF. And for SVM, I currently own 74. I max out at 148, so I only have 2 books. So I'm looking to cancel one of these books, and they are right around the same price. One is 5 cents higher, so I'm canceling the higher of the 2. And that is it for all of the stocks that I have going to earnings today. Tomorrow, however, I have one going to earnings in the morning, and that is Constellation Energy. I only have 1 book, so I'm just canceling that sell order. I want to own at least 1 book going into earnings. All right, so that's everything on the sell side. That's my sells that I was able to make and make a little bit of money. That's the sell orders for stocks I couldn't sell at a profit, and that's everything at earnings that I'm able to sell. I do have, on the buy side, I have a couple stocks to look at to see if I'm able to buy anything. First one I'm going to take a look at is Howmet, HWM. All right, so right now I don't own any shares of Howmet, and sort of an idea I was having that would be in conjunction with possibly not selling when the price is still above the fast-moving average on the weekly. We are a pretty good distance in time away. Normally I like to buy in and get all 4 books of shares. And for Howmet, that would actually end up being 12 shares. But after a run like this, I'm a little leery to buy in. What has happened in some cases is that I would be buying in and then price would turn around. And now I've got 12 shares sitting here being unproductive. I will buy 1 book. I think that's a new policy as well that I'm instituting. I'm going to buy 1 book, which, as I just said, is 12 shares. So that's to max out at 12. So each book has 3 shares. So I'm looking to purchase just 1 book. So that is, again, in recorded real time decision-making process to tweak the overall performance of my portfolio and possibly to help you as well. The goal with the swing trading strategy is to buy in, turn and close this out, is to buy in at the cross and possibly to sell at the cross. Those are the optimum times to buy and sell with a crossover moving strategy. Next stock I want to take a look at is Marriott, M-A-R. Like right here would be the optimum time to purchase, and I have no problem maxing out with Marriott. I max out at 4, so I'm only purchasing 2 additional shares. So we're going to drop this down to 2 and come in here, see if we get it at the 281. And we did. So Marriott 281.27. So a stock, I think that covers everything from today, that my possible purchase list. So I'm going to look at what I wasn't able to purchase yesterday. Edwards Life Sciences, EW. Not going to be purchasing anything for Edwards Life Sciences. Price is going the wrong direction. From yesterday as well, I'm going to look at Interactive Brokers, IBKR. Currently have 0 shares. We do have a recent cross, although price is going down now, but Interactive Brokers is a online brokerage, and it seems like this might be a good opportunity to buy. I mean, in the long run, Interactive Brokers is just more than likely going to go up. More and more retail traders are getting into the industry. So with IBKR, I like to max out, at 16 shares. So pump this up to 16 and purchase this. Okay, I can't buy market anymore, and I can't come in there anymore, so I need to find Interactive Brokers on my watch list. It's 4 o'clock, so I'm going to make this one purchase, and then I'm going to move on over to take a look at the, I don't own any IBKR, so I have to come in here, move this down. Hit this arrow is what I need. All right, so IBKR, I'm adding them to my watch list. IBKR, Interactive Brokers. I'm going to put this up in alphabetical order. Oh, that's the wrong list. I need to move this out of the way. What is happening? I just bought one. What's happening is I have it under the account positions and not actually listed watch list. So I just clicked this and I hit buy and I ordered one and I purchased it just like now. So that gives me the name should now be in here. So here I'm coming to buy, and instead of IBKR 16, I'm buying 14 shares at $69.89 hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. And finally got my shares of Interactive Brokers. All right, we're going to take a look at the earnings now. Come in here to my setup, looking for my earnings reports, charts afternoon. We want to move on over to that. So here's all I have going into earnings this afternoon. What's going on? Let me grab my times list. Airbnb. They were to have reported right at 4 o'clock, and we have ACAM, Archer, Natera, SoundHound, Take-Two, XYZ, SVM. All of those are reporting at 5 minutes after 4 is what time they're scheduled. So that's about 2 minutes from now. It'll be just seconds for you. Actually, it'll be about a minute and a half. I just wanted to show you. You can see the volatility of earnings. You can see Airbnb went from 121 to 124. That's not a huge move. Airbnb's just been going down for months. But you can see this is a big move, $72 to $78 for Akami. And so this is just all pre-reporting action. Same thing down here with, actually, I didn't know what time GigaCloud was supposed to have reported. They may have already reported. Let's see. All right, it's 4 minutes after 4. I didn't see when the time clicked over. Don't have a clock in here with the seconds on it. Let's see if that's on my cell phone here. Looking at the time. Click out, go to my clock. Boop, boop, boop. So it's got to be coming up shortly. Where's my clock? 53, 404, and 55, 56. So just less than a few seconds according to, there we go. All right, so now you should see some action. Well, we just saw Take-Two just had a huge spike up and spike down. So we're already looking at a $40 range right there. $50 now, $50 range for Take-Two Interactive. SoundHound is moving. Anything that's going down, it's going against where we would like to go, or where I would like it to go. Not the direction I want, which is why I de-risk. If ultimately plenty of these goes down and I was able to sell at a profit, or at least set a sell order that took, then that's an example of why I de-risk. I would rather have money in the bank to buy stocks that are actually going up than risk it going up and it goes against me. So GigaCloud, they've probably reported they're the only stock right now. Well, Akami, they're going up. So I've got 2 so far. Airbnb, 3 going up. All right, we've got 20 seconds until Monster Energy Drink reports. You can see we've got some action on Airbnb is up, Akami is up, Natera spiked all the way up $10. We've got 10 seconds left, spiked up $10 from and dropping back down. Excuse me, $10. XYZ, what used to be Block and Square, or still is Block, used to be Square, is moving up 410. Monster Energy Drink, so they just reported they've gone from 66 to 67. Not a huge move, but there's a little bit of idea if you're not used to seeing stocks and how volatile and how quickly they can move in either direction. Here we have XYZ. They spiked up. So just since we've been back, they went from 71.47 to 73, and now they big spike down to 67. So we're looking at $6 move down from the range just 2 minutes ago. If you're going to be in the markets, don't get upset when you lose a substantial amount of gains at earnings. When I first started, if you know how to look up some charts, take a look at Snowflake. Shortly, I believe last year sometime, Snowflake basically took out almost an entire year's worth of gains in one earnings, I believe. Bookings Holdings did the same thing, took out like 8 months of earnings, which is why I call trading playing the game of chutes and ladders. If you've never played chutes and ladders, it's a board game where from the start you have to go through 100 squares to the top of the board. Some squares have ladders that you can climb up, and some squares have sliding boards that have you slide down. And unfortunately, most of the slides are longer than the closest ladders. You can spend an hour playing that game, get to square 99, and you slide almost all the way down, back down to the beginning. So this is a trading for me. It is chutes and ladders. It's fun. It's exciting. I've rarely ever gotten upset at any of my losses. I knew what I was getting into. I hope you know what you're getting into. But we'll just take a few more seconds. We got Airbnb moving up. We got Akami moving up. We've got Natera moving up. SoundHound is down, but now moving back up. So down, down, up. Monster Energy Drink is moving up. I bought them at 65. They're now up to 69. DraftKings, they report in less than 3 more minutes. So I will be back in just a few seconds for you. All right, I've got 10 seconds left until Monster Energy Drink reports, and none of the stocks that I just placed sell orders on were actually triggered. Price did not go high enough to trigger those. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Monster Energy Drink, or excuse me, it was DraftKings. Dagnabbit. If you happen to just see peripherally, DraftKings just immediately went from $28.77 down to $26.56. Oh, forgive me for that. These days are long sometimes. And they're steadily dropping. Would have been nice if DraftKings had a huge spike up, captured these before it went down, but we are traders. We are experiencing investing, and this is a part of it. You don't want to get mad. You don't want to get upset when price moves against you. And one thing that you might want to consider as a investor and trader is to invest across a broad number of stocks. You want to diversify. I'm diversified in this account by over right around 250 shares. 250 companies is what I look to trade, what I look to invest in. So this will be the last look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6. Right now I've got 7 out of 12 stocks going up, the others going down. So that's a little better than 50%. Again, if you choose to be an investor first, you don't get too upset if the stock moves against you, especially if you're being an investor like I would have you strongly consider, is do not purchase stocks that are very risky, like small cap. Purchase mostly large cap and maybe some good mid cap. You might want to consider trading, actually investing. This is for the investors who want to invest, investing in mostly S&P 500 stocks. That is what I do. That is why I call this a safe strategy, quote unquote safe. All right, so that's enough of that. We're 7 out of 12. That's not too bad. You know, it's been worse. I've had it worse. I've certainly also had it better, where most of the earnings, they went up. It was great news. Going back to the day Tradestor chart. This is what I trade on for the videos. Go back to SPX, the index for the S&P 500, and might as well take a look at all of the actions that I took for today. I sold the triple Qs, sold Shopify, the ETF XTL, and Natera. I put sell orders on for AMD, Shop, XTL, and Taiwan Semiconductor. I took sell orders off of Archer, Akami, Natera, SoundHound, Take-Two Interactive, XYZ, which again is Block, which used to be Square, SVM, and Constellation Energy. And I purchased Howmet, Marriott, and Interactive Brokers. So if you own any of these 4 stocks, take a look at it, do some research, and consider possibly selling. It might be a good opportunity to sell. It is not a recommendation because it might not be a good opportunity for you to sell. According to my strategy, for me, it is. And on the opposite, if you don't own any of these stocks and you're able to afford one of the shares, or if not more, again, do some research. Take a look at Howmet, Marriott, and Interactive Brokers. Do as much research as you can, at least what makes you comfortable, and make a decision on whether you'd like to purchase in and follow my trades as well. I am not a financial advisor. I am not an expert, and none of this is a recommendation. I have a strategy works, and I'm just sharing my strategy with you. What you do with it is under your own responsibility. So let's take a closer look. The candle certainly has dropped down since the start of the video. We were up here a little bit. We were several dollars higher. Hopefully it'll stay within this zone and either bounce back up or just kind of drift along and stay a little bit sideways, maybe up a bit, down a bit, up a bit. Of course, it absolutely can drop through this zone. It can absolutely drop through this zone. A lot of institutions are looking for a nice drop because they did not, most of this run is retail traders. A lot of big traders, a lot of institutions are hoping that it drops down here at some point, all the way down to $6,400 to $6,300 range, so they could buy in. They're hoping, they really are hoping to be able to come in at this point, because a lot of mutual funds and a lot of big banks, they missed this run altogether. They've been calling for a crash for the majority of the year, just like last year and the year before. So I hope as a new investor or a trader or somebody who's not profitable, or maybe you've started and you just want to educate yourself a little bit more, one of the best suggestions I can give you is to drown out all of the noise. Figure out your strategy and trade that, but try to pay very little attention to all of the experts, because like many experts in many fields, you've got people on both sides of the argument, and neither side is truly wrong, and neither side is truly right. And just do your best to drown out the noise.
Cause more
All right,
injuries than if you weren't
let's take a
wearing a seatbelt.
look at our chart of
Today,
the day,
you're like, what the heck? Who wouldn't want to wear a seatbelt?
Whoops.
But that's how people
Got
felt
the
back then.
Tesla
And I
Live
think FSD
thing
is going to
going.
follow
Let me
a similar
turn
path
that
where
off.
it's just every car has to.
All right. Got Tesla Live. It's a Tesla shareholder meeting. They are voting on his shareholder package this afternoon. I just don't want to miss that. I'm a Tesla shareholder. I don't own any Tesla in this account. I do have one account that it's just a Tesla account. So back to looking at our chart of the day, and it is Datadog. Datadog went to earnings yesterday. I sold out before the earnings, and then I was able to buy back in and take advantage of their move. That definitely is not something that I recommend to everybody. As you saw just a few moments ago, earnings is quite volatile. I could have lost everything that I had purchased out of the books that I bought, which is, I believe it was only one additional book. But Datadog is an S&P 500 company, and they are expected to do very well over the next decade. So I want to go to my 1 day, 1 minute chart. And we actually want to take a look at the 2 minutes. All right, we're going to expand this, and you can see, why isn't it expanding? Hello. All right, let me pause. All right, don't know why it wasn't expanding. Zoom in. All right, so Datadog, they had their earnings, and right before their earnings, they were at 154.96. And you can see they took a nice ride up in the late afternoon up to 191. We'll just call it 192. So a nice $35 climb. Then it was a little bit of a roller coaster since then, ultimately closing at 191. So right around the same time of the high of yesterday afternoon, or not time, but price. And you can see I bought in this morning with 1 additional share. And I used that book for day trading, made a little bit of money, missed out a little bit of money. But it's only 1 book out of the 3 that I currently own. So if you don't own Datadog, definitely take a look at it. Let's go back to our 1 day and 3 month and 1 day chart. Actually, let's expand this out to 1 year and 1 day. They're at an all-time high. A lot of stocks, it's been known that when a lot of stocks hit all-time highs, they go higher from there. And if you look at right here at 165.89, it's lower than the price at December 5th of last year. So it's been 11 months since we've reached this point. So this might be a breakout for Datadog. Time will tell, but definitely do your research. Take a look at it. Find out what the company does if you're unaware what the company does. I certainly don't know a great deal of what Datadog does. I know that they are basically like research for companies in their IT and software platforms. But definitely take a look at it and do some research and make a decision. Again, make your own decision. Don't just copy my trades. All right, it's now time to take a look at my realized gains for the day and my portfolio performance to yesterday afternoon. All right, today I have in realized gains $151.19, and that is not truly accurate because that's an accounting change. Difference between how Charles Schwab accounts it, which is last in, first out, and a difference in how I account for it. And I sell the highest priced shares that I can that's lower than the selling price. Charles Schwab is last in, first out. I had 2 options, last in, first out, or first in, first out. But I take this as my realized gains, even though I sold roughly $156 over the swing trading strategy. I did that on $31,000 and made 67 trades today. Now, my portfolio performance since August 20th in the newer account is performing at 7.63% compared to 6.25% of the S&P 500. And the old account, where all of the funds were transferred from this account to the newer account up until August 18th, I was performing at 16.26% compared to the S&P 500 at 10.54%. And the combined totals of my accounts, 23.89% year-to-date performance compared to the S&P 500 at 16.79%. So I am outperforming the S&P 500 by 7.1%. If you are an investor, you will not be performing at the same rate that I am. I do this all day long, every trading day. This is what I do for a living. This is my job. This is how I make my money. So the majority of the funds that I make from a typical daily, weekly, monthly basis is from day trading. The swing trading strategy that I'm showing in this video is absolutely profitable, and investing over time is a 100% historically profitable as well, which is why I am showing my trades of the swing trading strategy within the daily time frame on these videos, so you can either feel a little bit more comfortable entering into the markets, or you could be a little bit more profitable if you are already in. Too many people want to get in here and get rich quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme. If you can't get rich quickly by trading, you are either very risky or very smart or a combination of both. But I thank you for watching the video. Please click that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you know anybody who does not have a retirement account, please let them know about me and my videos. Let them know that there's somebody who's not out there trying to swindle them, trying to make any money from them. I'm just providing information of how I trade. And if they realize that even at $25 a week, they can change their life over 25, 30 years. They can retire rich after 40 years. More than likely, investing and compound combined with dollar cost averaging into the markets can absolutely change everybody's life. So thank you very much, and I hope you have an absolutely awesome rest of your day.